So you've heard of Mobile Suit Gundam the 8th MS team. How about Mobile Suit Gundam the 3rd MS team? Or should I say the Red Giant 3rd MS team? Now personally, this is my first ever time hearing about these particular mobile suits because they are quite new as far as I know. The Red Giant 3rd MS team is made up of 3 different mobile suits. That is the Gundam RR and 2 GMs known as Reds. So apparently these mobile suits come from a 3-part kind of collaboration kind of thingamajiggy. Basically, there's this model kit which contains 3 of these mobile suits all in the one box, a manga serialized in Gundam Ace, and an arcade game that is known as Mobile Suit Gundam Battlefield Bonds 2. Which kind of looks like this. Well, definitely looks like that. So when it comes to the 3 mobile suits that come inside of this box right here, that is the Gundam RR and 2 GM ground types known as Reds. As for the mobile suits that come inside of this box, first up is the Gundam RR, and according to the wiki right here it says, during the 1-year war, a Oryx 79 Gundam ground type, which had been tremendously damaged on its left side, was overhauled in the field. That sounds extremely familiar. The ground type's distinctive cargo rack backpack was replaced entirely, new weapons were manufactured, and a new visor unit was installed onto the head. But otherwise, the Gundam RR's design remained mostly faithful to the ground type Gundam's original design. Its most outstanding quality, well, it's its color. As for those 2 GMs, back to the Gundam wiki, and right here it says, during the 1-year war 2, or GM 79G GM ground types were locally remodeled into the GM or aka Reds, to complement the RR. Each unit's weapons loadout was tailor-fit to its pilot's preferences, and once again, they're red. So yeah, when it comes to this box set right here, you've got 3 mobile suits and a ton of weapons in here. This is a premium Bandai exclusive, which is strange because we've got this absolutely killer box art. Not that usual monochromatic box. This one right here is absolutely gorgeous. As high-grade boxes go, this is insane. Anyway, this video right here would not have been possible without those awesome people over at BUYEE, so if you're looking for some hard to find kits, P-Bandai, etc., the link is down there in the description. So when it comes to what is inside of this box, you get enough plastic to build 3 mobile suits and an absolute arsenal of weapons, which is ridiculous. Honestly, the only thing that disappoints me about this kit is we never got one of these for the actual 8th MS team themselves. Imagine an Easy 8 Ground Gundam, a couple of GMs, it would be so cool. All in one box and a whole bunch of weaponry. Anyway, these particular kits, these are based off the recent enough high-grade GM ground type, which would have came out in 2016, and the high-grade ground Gundam that came out in 2018, which was actually based on that GM. So these 3 kits, in essence, are extremely similar. 2 of them, the GMs are identical, and the ground Gundam in here is the same as an older ground Gundam, well, from 2018, not that old, just in these new killer colors. So basically you will be building almost pretty much 3 of the exact same kit, with 2 of them being identical. So now jumping into the aesthetics, and we have 3 kits inside this box, so we're going to take them one at a time. 2 are absolutely identical, which is the GMs to the side there, so let's check out the variant of the ground Gundam here, known as the RR. So now jumping into that full 360-degree spin so you can see all of the angles of this thing for yourself. Now I will mention, this is as straight built could be, sadly, because I only had a, well, build time for 1 kit to build this kit, and there's essentially 3 kits inside of it. It got 1/3 of the time I'd usually give a kit. So sadly no panel lining here, but it still is very nice. The red in here is incredibly powerful. Now whether or not you like super red in your kits or not, that will be up to yourself, but this will definitely look a lot better and a lot more subdued with some nice heavy panel lining. Besides that though, this is the same as your usual ground Gundam besides the head and the cannon on the shoulder, which are the only real details. Color separation wise, it's quite good for the most part, and we do have some stickers included in here, which we might as well talk about right now. So these are the stickers in question inside of this box, and this is for going across 3 kits. So that really isn't all that bad. For the most part, I just use the eye stickers right here for on this kit, but everything, well, that must be for on a weapon, those are for on weapons, so the only real color correcting ones are these red and white ones, those are for on the GMs, these are for on the GMs as well, and it's just kind of the arrow for on the chest and crotch for on this particular unit. So that right there is what it should look like, with the white there, white on the crotch there, and white on the chest. And this is what we actually get if we don't use those stickers. So that would need to be painted white, same on the chest right there. And we do have a decal for up on the shoulder, which nicely enough comes on this extremely juicy sheet of decals right here. So we've got numbers for numbering your units, both large and small. And we do have that logo, which I assume is the red giant logo for up on the white shoulders. So the most obvious aspect that sets this apart from your standard ground Gundam is the color scheme, but there's also the head now that has that pretty cool visor on it. The visor can be both open or closed. There it is, open, and just to close it, you just close it on down, just like so. So you get that kind of look instead. Partly this gives it a better battlefield readout than your standard eye sensors in a Gundam. Next up, we've got this brand new backpack with this cannon up here on the shoulder. So as for this cannon right here, according to the instructions, this is the twin rocket bazooka cannon. And it says, this is a large caliber physical projectile weapon that is connected to the backpack. It is a special one-off armament, much like the other new weapons. So I guess it fires twice, and that's all you're getting. Besides it though, this is your typical 2018 version of the ground Gundam, just in red. So just the head and the cannon, that's different. Onto the gyms. So when it comes to these gyms right here, these are exactly the same once again as a ground type gym, just they're in red and white. Now there is a little bit of a physical difference between these and your standard ground type. First off though, there's that full 360 spin of what one of them looks like. Once again, they are both the same besides a little bit of a difference on the backpack. Honestly, you wouldn't even notice it to just look at them. There's both backpacks side to side. You probably wouldn't even notice at first glance, but this is the standard ground type gym backpack. This little segment in the middle, that does not move. This is your new guy. That has a little bit of a tab that comes off. That's the only difference. So once again, these are straight built as straight built can be, but they still look very, very nice. The red is very overpowering, so I do recommend panel lining at least just to subdue that a little bit. Make sure you can see the panel lines in that sea of red. But besides that, these are pretty cool, as the 2016 ground type gym is. It's a fantastic kit. So yeah, there we go. Pretty much like a standard gym, but that leg has been changed a little bit. So instead of being like this is what the white leg should look like, just with those three little segments there. It actually has a little bit of an armored plate kind of look to it. Once again, that would look so much better with a little bit of panel lining. If I pop off this light here, you might get a little bit more contrast there to see what is going on. So yeah, a lot of nice detail, but you will need to panel line it to bring it out. The head right there also features a lot more armor than you would standardly see with a ground gym, which makes it look a little bit more beefy and ready for some close quarters action. Once again, the backpack is a little bit changed on this guy right here, but we'll talk about that in the accessories, well, right now. No, not right now. I forgot the stickers. So we've got these red and white squares. Those are for on the chest right here. The gym boobies right there should be in white and red respectively, not all in black. Basically looking like that right there. Also, we've got that triangle in the chest and these little gray segments at the bottom of the legs. Those are not color accurate, as you can see. No gray segments right here. And no arrow segment in color right here. Again, you can use the stickers or paint them up yourself, whichever you prefer. And again, we do have that really cool decal from the shoulder and some markings if you choose to use them. Accessories time, and I have to say, I don't think I've ever seen so much weapons and equipment coming inside of a gunpla box ever. This is absolutely ridiculous. There's so much in here, I'm not listing it out one by one. But what I can say is, we've got some weapons in here we would have seen before with various Universal Century kits, including the Ground Gundam, etc. And then we've got some things that are specific to this box right here, which were, well, they're a little bit more over the top. I'll also mention that all the beam sabers are here. That's all 6 of them. I just did not take all of the handles out of the calf armors of each of the kits because that would have taken forever. Anyway, let's check it all out. So when it comes to the included hands in here, we've got the standard style holding hands, but we also have some widespread open ones as well. So that is the left hand, you can pop that off. For the right hands, it is just a set of those holding hands only. So that's what we've got, and we've got enough for the entire squad, so that is 3 in total. When it comes to alternate right hands, and actually I forgot to mention this in the aesthetics, we've got some wicked nubs, as you can see. The seam lines in the arms aren't the greatest design, so if you want to close those up, you're going to have to do a lot of cementing and sanding to clean them up nicely. The red also shows a lot of damage caused when, you're cutting stuff out. Anyway, the other alternate hand we have in here from the right hand side is a little on the weird side. This came on one of the newer runners, so it means it's in a slightly darker color to the average hands. It's more close to a lot of the almost black on the kit that we see down here. Anyway, that's for holding on to one of the weapons we're going to be taking a look at in a little bit. The beam sabers that we have in here are completely average. These are your standard pink beams and your standard white handles. Pretty average. When not in use, these can be stored away in the calf armor, which is pretty cool. I will mention it is tough enough sometimes to actually get the calf armor off. Usually I just use the side of a hobby knife to just kind of pop that. They just tuck on in just like so. There's a little bit of a tab in the side. They pop onto that armor. You pop the armor onto the side of the leg, and you've got 6 handles in total and 6 beams in this set. So next up in here, we've got not 1, but 3 of these 1-year war style 100mm machine guns. So that means we do have 1 per each, or if you want to, you could have 1 dual wielding. These just pop on into the hand just like so, simple as. And I assume you can have the little ammo magazine down there in red or white, because we do have 2. I might as well try it out and see. Honestly, for a military unit to actually start painting half of their magazines white just to match with their color scheme, that's some dedication. But yeah, looks like it can pop on, and there you go, yeah. You can have that kind of classic white look. Actually, after trying that alternate color part, I'm really curious as to if these grenade parts off of the other Gundam would fit, or will they get in the way a bit? Yeah, you actually stick those on instead of a magazine if you wanted to do something like that. Doesn't make any sense, but it fits. So yeah, equip 1 per unit or wield them akimbo, whichever that you like. There's tons and tons of options inside this box. If you pop this open, not just the ammo things have the dual color scheme. It seems like you get half a set of red handles for the beam sabers too. They're dedicated to it. So according to the instructions, some equipment is exclusive use for different mecha from this kit. For example, this right here, this standard 1-year war ground Gundam or ground gym style shield. This is for using with the Gundam RR. Same goes for this here beam rifle, which has to actually move in past the finger. I've done that a few times, you can tell. But yeah, these are pretty much the same as equipment we would have seen, just in different colors, with the standard release Gundam ground type and the ground type gym. Also, according to the instructions, this weapon right here, which is the 180mm cannon, which once again we would know very well from the 8th MS team, this is exclusive use for the Gundam RR right here. Of course, you can pop it into the hand of any of them, as long as you use this right hand right here with the trigger finger. This can be a little bit tricky to attach, but once you get it in, it looks a little something like that. Of course, well, the Gundam's not going to be just like aiming it like a big old pistol, like boom, boom, boom. But yeah, that right there is what it looks like. And that, once again, is a beautiful weapon. Now, when it comes to the 8th MS team kits, usually these are all in pieces and stored in the backpack. These kits don't come with backpacks, so you can actually disassemble this down into its, like, well, disassembly gimmick, but you won't actually have anywhere to store this. So next up in here, we've got these 3 weapons, which are general purpose use. So according to the manual, you use them on whatever unit you want. This is the, going left to right, the net gun, rocket launcher, and the missile launcher. Now, I will mention these are not color accurate. These are meant to look like what you're seeing right here. The net launcher in a nice light gray, the missile launcher in a nice militaristic green, but all you get here is just gray plastic, gray plastic, gray plastic. So if you want these to look like those, what you just saw, paint will have to be applied. So yeah, these right here are simple yet effective weapons. Of course, they're not color accurate, so you, like I mentioned, you will have to paint these up to look great, or at least pan line them will make them look pretty cool. Attaching all of these is super simple. They just all slide on into the standard holding hands. We do have an attachment for attaching the rocket launcher onto the back of the skirting armor for storage, and the 3-pod missile launcher or 6-pod missile launcher, whatever it is, that has a fold-out handle like so, and can just pop into a hand just like the rest of the weapons. So you can just load up your squad with whatever weapons they need for whatever mission they're going on. Now let's check out the exclusive stuff. So now going unit by unit with their exclusive equipment, and first off we've got this right here for the Gundam RR. Now this is a pretty cool idea. We've got a spinning barrel up front right here, and we've got this right here which looks like the central cylinder of a revolver. Attaching this is the usual high-grade way. You just pop off the back of the hand just like so. We've got a moving handle right here, and that just pops on in. Close up the back of the hand, and then you can just angle it up onto the shoulder just like so. So that is a pretty cool looking weapon. We do have one sticker in the top there in yellow for that sight, and there's a white sticker for actually up over the barrel just as a little bit of a marking. But besides that, that's what it looks like. So now it's time to separate the gym units by actually adding on their equipment, which makes them a little bit different. So we've got a mid-range gym and a close-range gym. First off, we're going to make what is, according to the instructions, Marobi's custom gym, and what we need for that then is the iron bunker right here. So this is pretty much the standard shield you would see on the gym ground types, etc, etc, but we do have this segment at the end, which apparently is fashioned to look like a Zagok, or Miscellaneous Underwater Principality of Zeon Mobile Suits claw. As far as I can tell from what I read, this doesn't actually open up like a claw, it's just meant to look like one, and does have a bit of a moving mechanism. It can move out and in like this to be like a pile bunker. So it just attacks. Pow, 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 like that. Besides that, it is a fairly generic shield and just pops onto the back of the arm, just like so. So that's what it looks like attached. Also, from what I can see in the manual, it seems like this unit also is equipped with a rocket launcher, so I'm going to pop that on, and there we go. So on to the second gym now, and it actually seems from the instructions that this one is a little bit more unique. And its main armament is this mass of pieces right here. So pretty much this is a big old shield with big old spears in it. These are magnetically accelerated, and apparently they heat up just like Zeon weapons. So once again, this is an inspired by Zeon weapon. This is what the heated up versions look like. So we do get alternate spears. These are with some nice glowing effect parts on top. And by glowing, I mean they're just very bright. They don't actually glow. This has the normal shield attachment on the back here. These can actually be removed just like so. Apparently they're fired into enemy mobile suits where they superheat up, then have a fuse and explode. So yeah, that's quite nasty. So attaching this weapon on, or should I say attaching this shield on, is like attaching on any other shield. It just pops right into the side of the arm like so, and has all the movement we would have seen before. And it can fall apart as well. But yeah, it can swing forward all the way to that point right there. Well, sometimes. The big old spear sections for using with this just pop on in like so, and like so. So that right there is what they look like attached. But we also do have the option of the super heated ones, and that does not hold on that great. It's a tiny, tiny little bit of a tab. So yeah, these ones pop in just the same, 1 and 2, and that right there is what they look like. It's also worth noting that these can also be stored in the hand in the usual way to be used as some kind of weapon or to display it loading them in. And speaking of it loading them in, finally we're getting to this little segment around here on the back, which you can just pop off just like so. And we've got this, well, what's essentially a quiver of these things for popping onto its back of 3 extra ones. Now these are fixed in position, they cannot be removed, so they're just for the look. Finally then, to finish off this particular version of the Gym Reds, it just takes one of these standard 100mm machine guns just like that. So yeah, there is the full squad completely outfitted with their specific weaponry, but there's so many choices inside of this box. This is pretty cool. Honestly, like I've said already, I wish they would do something like this more often for actual teams. Like the 8th MS team would be so cool if you could get them all in one box with some extra equipment on top. That would be awesome, and this box, well, is pretty much awesome. So now jumping into the articulation, and for the most part, I will mention about the build on this that this, or should I say these kits, are a little bit touch and go. This one is absolutely, well, the other ones are fine. This one has a bit of a funky leg that's always just kind of drooping on me. This happens sometimes with polycaps. They're not all really molded the same or whatever, so some might be fine, some mightn't be, but besides that, it's been holding up pretty good. Let's test it out. So yeah, what we get here is standard, middle of the road, old school, high grade articulation, as in, you don't get much at the ankles when it comes to the pivot, and you don't get a whole lot when it comes to the ab crunch either, and from the back you can actually see into the joint. This is very, very normal, so it is just middle of the road, old school, high grade. It will get you exactly what you want for a real robot style like this. And when it comes to the verdict, like I mentioned, middle of the road high grade for around the 2016-2018 mark. So by modern standards, it is not the greatest. However, the color accuracy is quite good. You get one hell of an array of stuff inside this box. So I would say this in general is about silver tier. So exactly what I would expect for a high grade line of kits. And if you've built the ground Gundam, the ground type gym, you know exactly what you're getting, just now it's in red, with a little bit of a different head. I got this from BUYEE, and as usual, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews, and I'll see you next time. As always, I can't end this video without thanking each and every one of you guys who watches my videos. And of course, special thanks to those of you who are supporting me on Patreon and the channel members here, including Tin Soldier YT, Caleb Engelhardt, Joe, Golel Rockstar, Lauren Seahack, or G59061, and Van Fawn.